The GMA cover story, more with Prince Harry. He gave us an exclusive preview of the first ever Invictus Winter Games. We'll read back with the details. Hey, Will.
Hello again, George. Invictus Games brings wounded service members together from around the globe for Olympic-style events, and it means so much more.
From royal pride to public sidelining, Prince Harry's once shining legacy has quietly slipped into someone else's hands. The Invictus Games, a cause he once championed with heart and honor, has now become a haunting reminder of what was. In a move that speaks volumes, the torch has been passed, and it's none other than global icon David Beckham who now stands where Harry once did.
Harry is the driving force behind all of it, and he brought GMA behind the scenes.
Meeting folks, what's it doing for them and what's it doing for you?
It's my fix. Once you leave the military from a uniform standpoint,
effectively pushing Harry out of the spotlight of the very project he brought to life. The decision marks a quiet but firm shift. Insiders reveal it wasn't made in haste, but it had to be made. For months, the Foundation wrestled with a painful choice: preserve Harry's legacy or shield itself from the growing storm of his public controversies.
the resources and the opportunities and the platform for them to be able to heal themselves, because they heal themselves and the whole family heals. So to me, that is without doubt the most rewarding piece to all of this.
The board has drawn a clear line, and make no mistake, this isn't some routine celebrity switch, it's a statement. Prince Harry is no longer the symbol of honor, duty, and service. That mantle now rests with David Beckham. But let's be clear, this didn't happen all at once. Over the past 2 years, Harry has slowly drifted from the Invictus Games, and critics haven't held back, claiming that ever since stepping away from royal life, his focus shifted from service to spotlight, from purpose to PR.
There was a permeating sense of gratitude on the mountain this whole week, especially from the competitors who get to participate in this event that brings them such meaning and purpose, and gratitude from Harry to get out and be among the people he has such fellowship and history with.
Instead of using his platform to uplift the Invictus Games, Harry kept pulling them into the shadows of his personal drama. From explosive interviews targeting the royal family to the tell-all pages of Spare, the Foundation reached a crossroads. Stay tied to the noise or step away. They chose to walk away. Now, David Beckham represents everything the Games aspire to steady, respected, admired around the world, and untouched by scandal. While Harry is caught in the tabloids, Beckham's name still carries quiet power across every generation.
Is Harry and Meghan, because they seem to be designed for each other to blight the rest of the world. And yet, after everything that they've done, it seems to me there being a chit-chat going on between their representatives and the representatives of the palace sitting there. What are they discussing, do you reckon?
I think that they're discussing we're broke, we're miserable.
With his work in youth sports, mental health, and military support, Beckham was the obvious choice. Sources inside the Foundation say some sponsors were already pulling back, concerned about the growing controversies tied to Harry. Now, with Beckham stepping in, there's hope for a revival in funding, global interest, and the prestige the Games once held. But this shift isn't just about Invictus. It speaks to Harry's broader fall from grace. Since the Oprah interview, endless court battles, and a memoir that even pushed away royal supporters, he's changed from a respected soldier to a polarizing figure.
Meghan has basically become one of those people you turn on the TV at midnight and they're trying to sell you a cozy pair of slippers and a robe. This was a woman that was a duchess. She got to she would walk into a school and children would run and throw their arms around her. She was a leader. She was...
What began as a humanitarian mission has now been overshadowed by Harry's transformation. Into a bitter celebrity and image the Invictus Games no longer wants to be associated with. Behind the scenes, insiders say pressure was mounting from stakeholders who felt the event was being dragged down by Harry's endless controversies. And here's where it takes a twist. David Beckham, once a close ally of the Sussexes, reportedly cut ties after Meghan allegedly accused the Beckhams of leaking stories to the press. Furious but silent, Beckham walked away until now. In a surprising turn, he stepped into Harry's former role at the very event Harry once saw as the centerpiece of his post-royal purpose. For many, this isn't just about charity, it's a quiet power move. Beckham didn't need interviews or headlines, just presence, just respect. And with that, the Invictus Games begins a new chapter.
It all away to sell loose fruit spread and alcohol. And I think that there are some serious regrets. I think that they realize not only is this hustle never ending, having to come up with new products, having to churn out all of these ideas, having to find people you can rely on in case you do sell out of loose fruit spread, let's pretend. I think that
The Invictus Games were always meant to honor wounded warriors, not wounded egos. And while Harry's role as founder will always be part of its story, the games have to grow beyond him to survive. That means leadership that brings clarity and confidence, not controversy. Over time, Harry's pursuit of public sympathy, his repeated victim narratives, and his Hollywood distractions began to drown out the heart of the mission. David Beckham, with his military connections and steady, respected image, brings exactly what Invictus needs: calm, focus, and global admiration. And let's be honest, there's a growing sense of fatigue. The public and the press are tired of Harry and Meghan's constant headlines, their grievances, their drama. An event built to uplift was slowly getting pulled into their chaos. Each time Harry appeared, the spotlight shifted away from the veterans, exactly where it never should have strayed.
this institution that is so loved all over the world.
Why can't they just live within their means? I mean, he comes with a sizable inheritance. They must have made a bob or two already by Archwell Foundation's useless podcasts or whatever it is, and the Netflix series which nobody really watched apart from when they're calling everyone a racist. So they must have a few sort of, dollars in the bank. Can't they just go, well, that's it. We'll just have a quiet life and bring up our kids and feed.
Over time, the focus shifted from honoring veterans to dissecting Meghan's outfits or speculating on what Harry might say about King Charles next. The Games, once a tribute to strength and sacrifice, started to feel more like a Sussex PR stage. It was a branding crisis that couldn't last forever. Eventually, the foundation had to step in. According to insiders, tensions had been building within the Invictus board for months. While some members still respected Harry's original vision, they struggled to stand by his increasingly erratic image, especially after Spare, with its drug confessions, personal attacks on William, and harsh words for the monarchy. Behind the scenes, a silent vote of no confidence was taking shape. It was never made official, but it was loud enough to matter. Quiet conversations with Beckham's team reportedly began as early as last year. The shift had already begun, and Harry, it seems, was the last to see it coming.
Prince Harry could figure it out. I think that he could wear the same suit over and over again and doesn't need all. I mean, Meghan, when we see Meghan Markle today, she's wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry alone. That's not like the $6,000 jacket she's wearing in the middle of June that she wants to ensure we see her papped in. I think that she's very materialistic.
Though it may seem like Harry's burden alone, Meghan's influence has deeply shaped this unraveling. Her public image, often seen as controlling, divisive, and self-serving, became tightly woven into everything Harry touched, and Invictus wasn't spared. From their highly polished Netflix docuseries to their sometimes uncomfortable presence at past Invictus events, the shift was felt. Donors grew uneasy. Military families voiced concerns. What was once a mission grounded in honor and healing began to feel overshadowed by the noise of the Sussex brand. And for an organization rooted in discipline, sacrifice, and unity, that kind of association had become too heavy to carry. Meanwhile, David Beckham's star only continued to rise.
King Charles.
From football hero to global icon to respected humanitarian, he embodies the very qualities the Games are now desperate to restore.
I also think you probably want your kids in the most expensive clothes. They've got 2 small children that she is taking around town, taking to school in Montecito, California. She's got to keep up with the Joneses. She has to keep up with these other very wealthy, high-profile individuals and their families. So I think it's mostly driven monetarily by Meghan's wants and needs.
It's also about that ego, isn't it?
During the Qatar World Cup, Beckham's grace, his military family roots, and his spotless public image didn't just make him a safer choice, they made him the obvious one. While Harry clings to media interviews and courtroom drama, Beckham is out meeting world leaders, backing global causes, and mentoring the next generation, the difference is striking. Harry burns bridges. Beckham builds them. Harry chases sympathy. Beckham earns quiet respect. And that's exactly the kind of leadership the Invictus Games needs now. For Harry, Invictus was never just an event, it was his redemption arc, a way to prove he was more than just the spare. But with Beckham now stepping into that role, that legacy feels like it's slipping through his fingers. Sure, Harry's name will remain as the founder, but the spotlight? It's moved on. And here's the hardest truth. Legacies don't last just because you want them to. They have to be earned again. And again.
Enough people fawning over her and doing the hand holding and putting a hand on her husband's chest and beaming up at him like they've only just met and they're still in love.
Well, she says they still get butterflies. She says they still get butterflies. She said they're in their honeymoon period because when she was a working member of the British royal family, she just said this to Jamie Kernlima, when she was a member of the British royal family, they were in the trenches. Like, it's hard to be a princess, but she says that right now they're in their...
Legacies aren't just earned, they have to be protected. And Harry's slow descent into controversy has left his legacy bruised, even unrecognizable. The truth is, the games have outgrown him. No matter how loud the frustration behind palace, gates, or California fences, the message is now impossible to ignore. Invictus doesn't need him anymore. Prince Harry's fall from grace has entered a new, painful chapter. Being replaced by David Beckham isn't just a change in patron, it's a public correction. A quiet but firm reminder that even the most personal creations can turn away from you if you no longer reflect their core. What Harry once built as a symbol of strength and redemption has now moved on, choosing someone who embodies the very principles he once stood for: discipline, humility, and selfless service.
As the world
so upset that he's just lost this UK court case, fighting for security. He's lost millions of dollars fighting for this security that everyone said, there's no way you're going to win this. So it's that contrast between the two narratives that they're both painting in the international media, where Meghan is sitting down going, my husband's a fox, we're in the honeymoon phase.
Do you think it is genuine love? I think on his part, I think he still looks at her with like heart emoji eyes and goes,
The world applauds Beckham's new role while Harry stands on the sidelines. Not as a hero, but as a cautionary tale of how personal drama can overshadow public duty. His royal unraveling isn't gossip, it's a living case study in pride, power, and downfall. And while Invictus was once his greatest achievement, Beckham's appointment sends a clear message: loyalty, consistency, and public trust still matter. And when you trade them for fame and controversy, the consequences come fast and hard. So if you want to follow this dramatic royal twist, from Harry's next steps to how Meghan might spin this latest loss, hit that subscribe button now, because this is where truth meets drama, where we go beyond the headlines to bring you the real story behind the royal curtain. And trust us, what's coming next won't be boring. Will Harry fight back? Will Meghan reclaim the spotlight? And how will the royal family respond to the growing storm? Like the video if you believe Beckham was the right choice for Invictus. Drop a comment if you think Harry's ego finally caught up with him, and don't forget to share this video because everyone needs to see what happens when royalty collides with reality, so stay tuned.